Mohamed Amersi, the founder and chairman of the Amersi Foundation, to speak. So Amersi, please.
Thank you very much, Henry. It's great to partner with you and this very associate forum. Thank you. As I said last year at this event, we are at an inflection point where the world is going through a tectonic shift whereby we are likely to see a world in chaos and a disorder before a new order is born. In this new world order, polarity will be governed, most probably not by traditional superpower theory, but by multipolarity, where military polarity would rest with the United States, economic supremacy and polarity with China probably, techno-supremacy with the citizens of the net, and environmental supremacy with those states that are best suited and able to mitigate climate change. To get into this new world order, we might initially see power shifting from the global institutions that were put into place since World War II to fragmented but nonetheless more solidified and effective arrangements with an expansionist mindset. They will be offering competing visions of a new world order, but only a major reset will dictate which will prevail. For now, it looks like the chips might just favor the globalizing South as opposed to the nationalistic North. The UN, the Security Council, and a multitude of multilateral organizations are largely important and represent an era that is long gone. I had the privilege to discuss with my dear friend, the late Kofi Annan, reform of the Security Council membership and voting structure, and we tabled many proposals but to no avail. In fact, I have subsequently observed that the only issue on which the P5 members of the Council are united and on which there is no veto nor abstention is the security of their permanent stadium. Nobody wants to give up a right that they have, but frankly, there are questions about the continued membership of France, the UK, both of which are still nuclear, but are no longer the colonial powers that they were. And Russia is an interesting question because the Security Council membership was in the name of the Soviet Union, which has subsequently imploded, and not in the name of the Russian Federation. Today, though, I want to highlight the emergence of a new kid on the block. I have labeled it using an acronym called CRINKs, C-R-I-N-K-S. This refers to China, Russia, Iran, and North Korea. I started to focus on CRINKs after my Prime Minister, the youthful but largely ineffective Rishi Sunak, referred to the axis of the autocratic states in a major policy speech in Poland a few weeks back. This is a very unfortunate labeling, but still a little better than the axis of evil coined by President Bush. So what is CRINKs and how will the so-called liberal order manage CRINKs? The collaboration between the 4 CRINKs countries is now in full swing and has evolved significantly as a result of the Russia-Ukraine and Israel-Palestine conflicts. They have accelerated their deepening economic, military, political, and technological ties, and the 4 powers increasingly identify common interests, match up their rhetoric, and coordinate their military and diplomatic activities. Their convergence is creating a new axis of upheaval, a development that has the potential to fundamentally alter the geopolitical landscape. This group is not an exclusive bloc, and certainly not an alliance. It is instead a collection of dissatisfied states converging on a shared purpose of altering the principles, rules, and institutions that underlie the prevailing international system. When these 4 countries cooperate, their actions have far greater effect than the sum of their individual efforts. Working together, they enhance one another's military capabilities, diluted the efficacy of U.S. foreign policy tools, including sanctions, have played a series of influence, and hindered the ability of Washington and its partners to enforce global rules. There are many in the West and the East that think that only the West has only self to blame for all of this, with the somewhat hypocritical and unprincipled approach that they have taken in relation to their foreign policy dealings. Managing these disruptive effects of their further coordination and preventing the Axis from upsetting the global system will now need to be a central objective of U.S. foreign policy. For now, the U.S. national security strategy ranks China as a higher priority than Iran, North Korea, or even Russia. That assessment is strategically sound, but when considering the threat that individual countries pose to the United States, but it does not fully account for the cooperation amongst them. Driving wedges between members of CRINKs will not work anymore. U.S. policy will need to address the destabilizing effects of some of these countries acting in concert to subvert important international rules and institutions. But dare I ask, is it subversion or is it a rebalancing? And how will it shake out? It is anyone's guess. I don't believe there is any globalization silver lining in here anymore, only the gathering of some clouds. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Mohamed. And so we're also very stimulating and interesting and thoughtful.